admitting everyone in. Got it. It is preparing to go live stream, and I'm admitting everyone into the session. Okay. So
good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're just going to wait a moment or two, and we're going to let everybody into the session. Good morning. Oh, that was so good that happened right away. So we'll ask that everybody please take their a moment to put their computers or phones on mute during the session, and we'll go from there. Okay. So we can start if you like, Em.
good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Power Skills. My name is Emily from the Career Advising and Transition Services Office at the McGill School of Continuing Studies. I'm here today with my colleague, career advisor, amazing connector, Zita Maharaj. You want to say hello, Zita?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
This is already the third edition of Power Skills. This year's theme is Lives Transformed, Our Post-Pandemic Era. So for those of you who are new to Power Skills, it is a free 4-day virtual career summit that's sure to inspire, to motivate you, and to connect you with a dynamic series of sessions. We're really excited this time around to share 66 sessions on topics related to leadership, growth, and overall career transitions and what that's all about. I'll be happy to share a video right now. Go.
While Emily is getting the video, I would like to acknowledge that I'd like to recognize that we at CATS acknowledge that our work in Montreal takes place on the unceded Indigenous lands of the Kanake/Mohawk Nation. This land is known as a gathering place for many First Nations, and at Power Skills, we are committed to use this summit as a place of gathering, connection, reconnection to empower all voices and perspectives, and by providing free, accessible learning opportunities and connection. Thank you. Thank you very much. As my wonderful colleague, Emily, who is a phenomenal career advisor, overall person, great humanitarian, also mentioned, we are really excited for today's session. I get the privilege and honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Ms. Roen Higgins. And in order to do it proper justice, I'm going to read her bio. Because I'm not only a friend, I'm a super fan, I might miss out on some of those big moments for her and speak about how wonderful she is. So if you indulge me, Roen Higgins is a poet, a speaker, a coach. She's an award-winning spoken word poet, educator, dynamic speaker, and impact coach. Her mission is to elevate her audience with important life skills such as self-care, resilience, leadership, creative literacy, and community well-being. Roen loves helping young people emerge and adults shift towards elevation. As a coach, she is dedicated to raising others to get unstuck and tap into their genius zone. What is not mentioned there is that she's not only one of the best people I've ever met, but she has a heart that is of gold. And the genesis of our friendship started many, many, many moons ago. I want to say over 20 years or just around, but I got the chance to witness her opportunity to shine for maybe one of the first times. I saw who she has developed into and how she continues to evolve as such a gift. And Roen used to, and maybe still does, perform under the name Blue River. And I saw her present for the first time, and she was magnetic, she was dynamic, she was, and she still is, all of these amazing qualities. Today's session, the Elevate Effect, Small Changes for Big Impact, really is centered on giving everybody the opportunity to seek in and find their best versions of themselves with tools and tips that I'm sure she will undoubtedly blow our minds with. So with no further ado, I do have one request that we stay muted unless we have a question, we raise our hands, and Roen is okay with us exchanging this session. But if you can kindly stay on mute while the presentation is happening, and feel free to send us comments or your questions in the chat so we can share them, please. Thank you. Roen, I welcome you to Power Skills.
Thank you for having me. Just making sure my mic's in here. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you again. Thanks for that great introduction. It's one that just warms my heart. I'm seeing certain faces and now my heart's like racing, because when it's people you know, for me, it's very different. All right, so yes, as Azita said, my name is Roen Higgins, and on the creative stage, I am known as Blue River. For me, it is all about flow and change and transformation. First, I want to thank the McGill Cats department for putting on this amazing event and for inviting me to be a part of it. Secondly, and most importantly, like I said, boom, 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 I want to give a shout out to all of you guys who are here, who showed up, taking your time out the day. Thank you. Whether you're live or maybe watching the recording, I really appreciate it. And I'm excited about our time together and what I get to share with you. So first, I'm going to ask everyone this very important question. And whoever your audience may be, or whoever your target market might be, even your family members, I want us to learn to ask the question, why are we here? Why are you here right now at the Power Skills Career Summit? Why did you take the time to jump on this presentation? Was it to level up, expand your network, connect with like-minded individuals, or maybe you just can't get enough of Zoom? And I know that's not a fact. For whatever reason you landed here at this moment in time, I hope you leave activated, not just inspired, but activated to take charge, to take action and move towards finding your blueprint, to stand up, to speak out and make a difference. You might be here because you want or feel a need to change your situation, your reoccurring plot in life. Maybe you have a burning desire or a small nagging push to make a shift in this world. Well, let's flip the script together. So as you see here, this is what we're going to go through, is how to create your blueprint, know the power of your story, how to craft your message, set yourself apart, and elevate impact. My aim is today that I hope I can add value to your personal and your professional toolbox. Okay, it's not, sorry, here we go. All right. So I have to say, finding the caption for this was very fun, because a lot of times we might say, what? You might say about me, my mission, you know, we have all these different titles, North Star, your why, your raison d'etre. But my accolades of what I've accomplished and where I've traveled and how many degrees I have, money I don't have after tax here in Quebec, it's going to make a difference after I drop this, okay? So for those who do know me in the room, morning, what's popping, wagwan, and to those who don't, by the last few words you just heard, you might have figured out that my roots are Jamaican. but I was born and raised in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So if you've never met someone like me, just know I'm an official, authentic jerk poutine. Straight from yard, born in Montreal. I'm going to keep it real because I'm going to be speaking from my authentic voice. And I hope if anything you take away, it's that you have the power to elevate. So what is your North Star? What is your reason for being? This is what it's about. And if you notice, I didn't give any description of what I've attained or where I'm at. I just say I'm here elevating my community. I'm connecting with others. I'm here about educating others on their culture. I'm about community care. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to start with a story. So you see, it started in the streets of New York. This mother was found at 3 a.m. walking barefoot with her kids. Imagine this. Red and blue lights flashing and the police speaking to this woman, trying to calm her down with a crying baby and a confused, tired toddler. From there, they ended up on their way to an orphanage. And then their aunts came from them from another country. And those aunts became these little girls' foster parents. This little girl, the toddler, when she got into elementary school, the teachers told her she would not make it past 16. The social workers told her she had a 10% chance of having the disease that her mother had, which was schizophrenia. This little girl's own family said, you look just like your father and you're not going to amount to anything. And in Jamaican, they would say, you're going to be worthless. In other words, worthless, nothing. In high school, the guidance counselor said, just literally crushed her dreams and said, you cannot be an architect. You can never be an artist. You can't make money. You can't be an architect. You're not good at math. This woman also, young lady, gets to college. And what do you think they say? The advisor, who this young lady goes to for financial aid, says, you should just quit and go on welfare. This little girl who had ADHD, fared poorly in school, was kicked out of her family's home, ended up in foster care. Within 2 years, her foster mother passed away of cancer. So now she's homeless on the streets, hanging with the wrong crowd, but somehow she didn't end up smoking, didn't end up high, in jail, or dead like those from her environment. How? Well, let me tell you. This little girl's name is Roen Higgins. Yes, the one you see on the screen, that's me. But let me continue to tell you the story and how I close it when I speak to young people. My story just didn't add up. Yes, I had the DNA to be just like my father, 10% chance to have a mental illness, and still made it past 16. These people tried to label me, subtract my purpose based on my destiny they set for me. What they didn't know is I believed and knew I was greater than my situation. I ended up graduating from that same college that told me I should quit. I ended up being hired by the same school board, the same exact school, and working with the same exact teachers that said I'd be dead at 16. I guess to them when they saw me, I must have been the walking dead. And I say this with a smile and with humility because I never had any hardness in my heart. I got hired by the same social service agency where the social worker told me that I would have a mental illness. The beautiful thing is when these things happen full circle and I get to speak in these same spaces, or I've been hired in these same places by the ones who thought they projected my destiny. So you see, failure was not the part of my equation because even though I was horrible at math, I caught on what they were trying to subtract my purpose. They had a limited vision of me. Their labels or thoughts meant nothing because I knew I was created to be greater than. So let me tell you, you already have a name. So don't let the diagnosis or depressed, ADHD, autistic, dyslexic, all these things they might throw out to you, be your destiny. We may have challenges and obstacles, but we all can be great if we can believe. You are greater than. So that's the math equation. And I made sure that in order for you to understand how I cultivated my message, I had to share my story. And this is what this is about today. It's cultivating, crafting your message, your authentic story, your authentic voice. Just like children, a lot of you guys are online and you see when people are just going with trends and they say, I'm a part of the Me Too movement. And you're like, well, that doesn't feel right. We always can feel when something's off. when your children or your spouse or your siblings are lying, right? So this is why it's important to know your passion, your purpose, and find your message. Understanding my message has helped me find my purpose and my passion. What I learned from my story became the manifesto you see on the screen. My mission, that raison d'etre that we speak about, that ikigai. I want to make sure, because of my story, that no child was left behind, that a child can feel like they belong. I want them to know that they can change negative into something positive, that they were created to create, that they can make an impact no matter where they come from, or that whatever their circumstances might be, you can overcome. So you see, there's power in your story, and we have the power to flip the script. There you go. So I became an animator in the camp. So somebody's here that's a great mentor. She knows my journey. She's one of the individuals who hired me. And I was able to do that for 16 years. And during that time, I also graduated. I became an educator. And then I did animation for teens for another, actually, that was 16 years. So I would say in all 24 years, just animating at camps. So that's nothing to do with a degree. That has to do with passion. So from there, I was empowering youth. I'm educating. I'm about engaging. I was about providing an outlet for young people, being a resource, an event curator. And I just loved watching people break barriers. After working for several agencies and community spaces, rehab centers, hospitals, can I tell you, my role was just focusing on problems. I started living in a cyclical pattern. I was a crisis interventionist. I was paid to react, and an underpaid superhero. I felt like this wasn't enough. Like any other 20-something-year-old, I had a social life. Many of you are still paying off your school loans. I did the same thing. I was doing shift work. I was just going to university, and then it happened. I felt numbness in my face. My arms, I couldn't feel the sensation in my arms. My leg, I woke up one day and I fell off the bed. And this hypochondriac thought she had MS. Like it was for real. And I didn't want to go to the hospital because I had never been to a hospital, and I feared they would say the worst that we don't want to hear. After a while, these heart palpitations got so bad, they kept me overnight. And they said, you are going through burnout. How did they find us out? Burnout? After an MRI, I'm in the MRI, and I don't know if any of you guys have been in that tube. I felt claustrophobic. And this is where I'm finding out that I have general anxiety disorder. So even though the social worker said you have 10% chance of schizophrenia, which she wasn't educated enough to say, yeah, I'm gonna keep it real, was that I do have more of a chance to have a mental health issue. And for me, I was laughing at everything, even when it wasn't funny. I was numb to real trauma. And I just continued to be in a place where I was not able to communicate my authentic feelings or able to communicate my words effectively. I was a walking time bomb. I was bottled up. And this was my breakthrough. That time where you've gone through something that changed your life, that moment where you've had maybe a near-death experience for you. Maybe you didn't get that role, or you're going through a breakup, that market crash, losing all your possessions in a fire, the loss of a loved one. Mine was anxiety and overwhelm. And hearing that stress kills made me want to shift everything. I did not want to end up on medication. I did not want to end up on anti-anxiety medication because I saw the lineup of pills my mother had and said I would never be that way. So I had to switch it real quick. I had to take charge. No more late eating, no staying up late at night. Back in the day, we called it bleaching. And no longer, let's say this right, no longer being a lifesaver to others, but refusing to check myself. So for those of you guys who are 90s, we're teens and 90s, we all knew the song, the line, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Well, that was me. Here I am. I had a dream to open up a center for young people to express themselves creatively, to share my love and passion for the creative arts therapies. And I'm being told by an ambulance tech at 24 years old, if you continue this way, you'll be dead in a week. This is after he checked my heart. And that's when I learned I was always in a state of fight or flight. My body was always responding to crisis. It made me great at my job, but useless in my personal life, in my personal development. I thrived in chaos. And when it was time to sleep or focus or just be still, I was always in survival mode. So how did I survive? Well, thankfully, my barometer of success or survival was not based on what others told me. It was not based on my environment. How's that, you may ask? Well, I'm about breaking generational curses. I'm about ripping off the labels off of me, catapulting forward because I have nothing to lose. I believed in the proverb, be the change that you want to see in the world. And I'm gonna call him Pastor Gandhi, you're my homie, okay? And I really believe that I can make a difference. So as you see, I call this presentation the elevate effect. And where did this come to me? Is that I remember when I was younger, someone explained to me what chaos theory meant. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? The butterfly effect, no, not the movie with the Ashton Kutcher, no, not that one. But the theory that one flap of a butterfly's wing in one country can create a tornado in another. Am I muted? Okay.
Somehow you were muted. We heard you up until butterfly effect. Please
Okay.
go from there. We apologize.
All right, no problem. All right, so yes, I was saying, as you see the definition there about a small initial change in a weather condition can create a significantly different outcome. So I'm asking you today to think about what are the simple steps you can take to make an impact. All right. I'm gonna keep checking, make sure that mic is on. All right. So how do you create your blueprint? To me, this is so key. This applies to my personal and my professional life. We all wear many hats. A lot of you sometimes get frustrated as a parent or you have a significant other, you may be at work. We have so many different hats that we forget that we are switching different roles throughout our day. Who are you to others and how much energy that takes from you? But also it gives you a sign of what your blueprint really is. So I'm asking you to identify your values and understand your why. Know your why. Okay. And guys, I'm going to tell you, please take notes because I do believe that information changes situation only with implementation. Okay. So I need you guys to take those notes, screenshot what you have. I don't have a lot of breakdown because I want you guys to focus, but I want you to realize that your blueprint is also part of, how do I say, your guiding words or your North Star. I used to do, I'm sure many of you guys have done it, maybe in New Year's, some people find a one word. Execution, 2017, it might be connection and whatever it is. And I realized after the pandemic, my North Star was really about grounded, anchor, carefree, wonder. Because before I was so gung-ho to just execute and focus that I was missing out what really matters. Okay, so think about your North Star. And you can have more than one. I now have 3. So this year, my North Star is anchored, alignment, and carefree. The next thing, your blueprint is about showing up. Where do you want to show up? The lifelong question that many of us ask through our time and distance is, what am I here for? What's my passion? What are my gifts? I don't know what I'm good at. What can I do? You or someone you know have gone through an identity crisis or ship that concerned or confused others. And if you've ever been an adolescent, you know what I'm talking about. As many children, many of us, we think we have it all figured out. Well, actually, we knew. So you ask a child, a 5-year-old, what do you want to be when you grow up? A doctor. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a YouTuber, because that's the thing, right? And you ask them who they want to be, and they know with conviction. But what happens when we get older? We get stuck. We get confused by the templates that are put on us. We've lost our natural response to be carefree, to find wonder, to just be us. So the next thing is, I need you to magnify what matters to you in your life. To me, what matters goes back to my value. I believe in respecting others, having gratitude, respecting my environment. So if someone litters doesn't mean that I'm about, oh, it's about Greenpeace and this and that, and I'm environment friendly. Yes, I am. What am I most passionate about? Safety of others, making sure people belonged. And I was like that since I was a child. The next thing is how to make things plain, your blueprint plain. That is your vision. Whether it's a vision board, whether it's something you write out, whether you close your eyes and you meditate and you practice visualization, I need you to understand that once you visualize, you can see the end goal. And here you see I wrote, faith it till you make it. You guys know what is fake it till you make it. I call it faith it till you make it, because I can fake it and not be authentic. But if I have faith, I can get to it. And the last two is serving and making real relationships. Okay. And I wrote it like that. As I was writing, it was a typo. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to capitalize this real relationships. And we'll get to that when I get to the part of networking. And last but not least is caring for you. So grab your compass. I need you to make a promise, not to me, because I'm just a lady behind the screen, but to yourself, that you will no longer let the former scripts of your life define you. All right? So we know that we're about not comparing and showing up, giving the ones who poured into you. I need you to give back. But more than anything than serving, I need you to speak life, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. All right? Understand the power of your story. Understand the power of your problem. But before you can do that, you need to speak life. Whether that's declarations and affirmations. Right before the sessions, we set an intention, okay, together. I said my prayers. I need to speak life into myself and remind myself of my why, right? I need to think of the end result that I want to have on the other end of the screen. What is it that I want them to take away? I want you to write your vision, paint it out, draw it out, even if it's words. Do a papier-mâché, whatever it takes. Maybe it's even lipstick on a mirror. I've had some people do. Makeup artists, and they write a word that I will be bold with that red lipstick and leave it there on their bathroom mirror. I need you to know your value. I used to always call myself a procrastinator until 2 years ago. It was ridiculous. And I told myself, well, I work well under pressure. And I wore this word like a badge of honor. We all know what happens when we tell ourselves the same things over and over. So fact is, again, before you can serve or share our authentic selves, we need to grow through the process. Like the shaping of a gem, we all need to be refined daily. Part of my self-care is speaking life and following through with actionable steps. Like everything you go through grows you. Mindset without work is dead. I am resourceful, efficient, and I find solutions. Maybe you can say, I effect change wherever I can. I used to say this one every morning. I can, I will, I must. So I want you to remember that it's not about that progress over perfection. It's not about surviving, it's about thriving. I need you to invite these words in your life that I will love more deeply and live more joyfully. And more than anything, one of the things I speak into my life is that I'm not here to seek opportunities. I'm here to seek alignment so the opportunities come to me. So in self-care, as you see, I wrote self-care is a love language, and I put nothing else because you guys have been hearing about self-care a lot. Yes? And I realized that to me, self-care is a love language. It's how I choose to take care of myself. And I started wanting this, I had this desire to speak about self-care during the pandemic. And then I realized everybody named Mama was doing it. And I was like, you know what? What's more important than self-care? Based on my authentic story, bridging the gap, connecting, it's community care. All right. And I'm going to get more into that about, for you, it might be walking in nature, visualization. It might be taking that scrub. Maybe it's just, I don't know, taking time for you, closing the blinds, meditating, getting a massage. Well, for me, I can tell you that I had to learn to speak into my life and say, I am taking care of my best future self right now. I am taking care of my best future self right now, because that's why I was on burnout. I was taking care of everyone else first. missing meals, missing sleep, jacking up all my appetite. Okay, and that goes far. Thinking about all the appetites you have. You could either suppress it or heighten it, but we need to be grounded and balanced. So my biggest thing, guys, I'm going to tell you the most important sentence of this whole thing because it means a lot to me. My biggest takeaway for self-care, I heard this sentence, I didn't make it up, can't take credit. Let me show you what it is. Saying no. Ha! And I put no, somebody's mama said it, okay? Because everybody know mamas have some words of wisdom. But no is a full stop, exclamation point, period, sentence. A lot of us do not know how to exercise the power of saying no. If you had 24 hours to live, a lot of the things on our to-do list with such urgency on our task list would fall off. Here's an exercise I want you to try is get a piece of paper. Here's my big Post-it. Get a piece of paper and you do 2 columns. And I want you to write a to-do list for you. And then I want you to write the to-do list of all the things and tasks that everyone else needs from you. Game changer. And if you have the tasks that others want from you on the right side, you'll realize it's very long because you do not know how to program yourself. A lot of us do not know how to make a to-do list specifically for ourselves. We walk the dog, but we won't walk ourselves. Go for a walk. We just don't do it unless you've been really working on your personal development. So I quickly learned to prioritize what's important. A lot of us, like myself, maybe you have as well, say yes to many things automatically, especially if most of you guys are women in here. The women in here, we have a tendency, because we're empathetic and caregivers, we automatically say yes. We don't want to disappoint. We don't know how to set boundaries. And gentlemen, a lot of you guys in there do too, you know, family, loyalty. He's my homie, he's my boy, he's my best friend, and he's done a lot for me. And sometimes you're just on empty. As a person who lives with ADHD and a recovering adrenaline junkie, this is still my challenge to this day. But the difference is I've become intentional of setting tools of like telling people, oh, please send me that by email. You know, they DM me, please send me that by email. Let me get back to you and check my calendar. So next time you hear, hey, Zita, hey, Kathy, hey, Gail, can you help me with this project? Can you help me in my backyard, my garden this Sunday, tonight? Maybe you're one of those people that don't take the time to pause and you just love being helpful, but learn to say, hey, I'll get back to you. Shoot me off that email. Because most of the time people do not follow through, y'all. So you'll learn that it gives you time to process and weigh and measure if you have the bandwidth to commit. All right, so the most important part of this is about crafting your message. I think it's so important to understand our place in the world and how you can craft your message to have the most influence and impact. Once you find your authentic voice, once you find that message, you will tell your story with conviction, and no one can tell your story but you. Your message, your product, your service may not be for everyone, but it is for someone. It's going to attract the right people and resonate with those who need it, right? So the message that I have attracts young people, attracts emerging adults, attracts creatives, faith-based women. And it's funny because as you're just doing what you do, and I'm gonna tell you this on purpose, when you're doing what you do, not thinking about it, analyzing, strategizing, and thinking who's my target market, just move forward because you know what? Success leaves clues. You might fall for it. In being an educator and an animator, I never had to think of like an entrepreneurial person who's trying to really research and look at all that stuff. I just shared my message in the most authentic voice like I am today. I'm not speaking with this eloquence and with certain vernacular, and I'm going to keep it 100 because this is how I share my message from my heart with the real words, right? A strong message is what people believe in what you're saying, the problem you help them get out of, and the feeling you get them to, the feeling you help them arrive to. 9 out of the 10 opportunities that come to me for all those different connections or sources or outlets or platforms or stages is word of mouth. The people my message resonated with, even this very one. And I'm so grateful because I'm very carefree. But I'll tell you what it is. It's not just the word of mouth. It's my squad. It's my fire starters that got me here. My camp. They helped me learn how to communicate my message clearly and effectively. And I ask you to do the same thing. Go to your camp and ask them, what do you think I'm good at? What is my superpower? What do you believe my special gifts are? This one is important, especially in this climate that we're in, as we see a lot of cultural upheaval and uprising. Claim your space. A lot of times you might hear it as knowing your niche, finding your zone of genius, letting your name, getting your name, or claiming your name to fame, as some may call it. But I see it more as crafting a unique solution that no one has in your space. You don't need permission to be great, guys. You don't need permission to be stronger, ladies. You don't need to, how do you say it? Ask someone if you can expand in a certain place, ladies and gentlemen. For me, I know that a butterfly does not need permission to fly. It will be uncomfortable, but it stands apart, and change is uncomfortable. So remember those growing pains that many of you guys had growing up? Well, this is no different from a butterfly in a cocoon. A caterpillar was a caterpillar was not created to be average. So I need you to disrupt that concept and show me what you're working with. You guys never heard that line, y'all need to get into my music list, all right? So when you create that message that fuels connection, then you expand your reach. So these are 3 words I want you to write down. Content, connection, community. Content, connection, community. That is what I believe can help you claim your space. And this is what's going to lead you to what I call impact over reward. You might have heard the term impact over money. I change it to reward because a lot of us, sometimes what we're seeking is not, currency. It's the reward. And you think about as a child, you want mommy and daddy to be proud of you. You want your boyfriend to say you look nice, or your girlfriend to say, you look good, I like your beard. We look for that reward. But I'm asking you to flip the script when it comes to making an impact, when it comes to being a change maker. Look to make impact over reward, because once you're in your zone of genius, you've claimed your space, you've crafted your message, you will make an impact beyond. All right, there we go. So here are my 3 C's of impact, as we said, is the content, right? What you're putting out there for others to understand, how you are cultivating your message. You're going to learn to break it down and put it out there. And I'm not here to talk about social media and posting 10 times a day. You do it what feels right to you, okay? Connection. Well, we're going to be getting into relationships and partnerships and collaboration. To me, this is the most important thing, is who I'm connected with. Because not only who feeds me, not only who pours into me, but who I also know that can help me get to where I need to be. And I don't mean that in an opportunistic way. I mean in like, who's in my camp when I'm feeling down, who is also praying for me, who's able to affirm me, who's going to help pick me up. That's what I'm talking about. And that is what really becomes my community, is who I'm connected to and who I'm connecting with. When I say that, who I'm connected to, my left and my right, who's at my shoulder, and who I'm connecting right directly on that stage, in that classroom, in that room, in that business room, in that conference, in that church, in that faith-based institution, wherever you lead, who are you making an impact? So it's about identifying the problem you're solving, right? How can you make someone's life easier, better, stronger, faster? Yeah, we mentioned that. Find your avatar, find that target population. Yes, you might want to serve everyone and their mama, but the game changer is when you choose that specific person. Everyone says, build a community. I say build 2. What do I mean by that? You want to serve those who help you get there, and you also want to pour into them. Be a resource, offer a solution, and you won't have to sell yourself. People connect and purchase over anything else but your story. You are going to connect with how you make them feel. they're going to connect with you because you made them feel that impact over income matters. So in order to move forward, you need to take care of you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Sorry, I'm not going to go back because I'm using a new platform. But I need you to think of yourself, your elevated version, and learn that to be fulfilled and help elevate others, that you need to continuously pour into yourself, because I said self-care is a love language. And once you connect with your community, they will learn that language as well. So here we see tools to climb. All right. You see this definition. Networking is the art of intentionally building authentic, mutually beneficial relationships that can turn into the right opportunities at the right time. A lot of the times we've learned that networking, a lot of times it feels cringy, right? You guys go in a room and people are like shaking hands and, so what do you do for a living? Okay, how much do you make? Oh, that's nice. And we're swapping cards. Networking is not about sucking up or collecting those business cards or lying about who you are or feeling like you have to wear a certain attire that you're not even comfortable in. Networking is about making that connection, bridging, getting to know someone's name. So next time, this is my challenge to you. When you go into a space and you meet someone, if you do have a business card, many people don't, it's social media is a thing, or bumping phones, try to not present yourself first. Ask, hey, so what do you do and why do you do it? Before you even really introduce what you do. People love to share what they do, and you never know who you might find in a room by asking that right question. And then when you listen to them and you learn about them, make sure that you tell them how you serve, what your offer is, what your unique value proposition is, because your story, your presence and offer is what makes it different. So that's why it's important to know your why and who you are. For the first quarter of our lives, we've always heard the question, who do you want to be when you grow up? Then it's, what do you do? Once you can answer why you're here on this earth and apply that to different areas of your life, you will learn more about your message. All right. So here are things to help elevate your message and make an impact in this world. The tools I need, I call it my A-team. Okay. I literally have an A-team on WhatsApp and we check in every day. We set our goals. We set our quarterly goals, our daily goals, our weekly, our seasonal goals, and we have accountability partners. I don't care if it's like, did you drink your water today? Did you walk outside? Did you get that sunlight? Did you do your taxes? It doesn't matter what it is. We hold each other accountable to get ourselves that next notch. A 9 to 10x and all these things that you hear, one step, brick by brick, layer by layer. So start with that. And remember that finding a mentor and a coach is crucial. I have many mentors, but I haven't found my one mentor. It's still my mission. And when I say I have many mentors, there's actually some of them in this room right now that I had no idea is going to be here. People that I've met in the past, people that has hired me in the past. And it's such an amazing thing when we're all in that same space to remind yourself that that's your community. Those are the ones that are going to feed you and pour into you. And yes, if that means you take them out to dinner or you're paying them $100 an hour, they might help you elevate and make next level impact. Also, another tool is your platforms. For some people, it's social media. For some people, it's your classroom. For some people, it's a Zoom meeting, a webinar. Whatever that platform is, honor it and make sure that you are finding a way to make your message better, to curate your message in a way that people can connect with you. All right. And last but not least, just do it. I know a lot of us are like, oh yes, of course, we know Nike's slogan, but is there a more simpler way to say it? Start with what you have. Do not overthink, because analysis is paralysis. Take it from me. You're overthinking things, and guess what? The opportunities are there already. It's already happening. So move in motion and don't get stuck. And when I say tools that affect change, start where you are and with what you have. Let's say somebody out here wants to start a podcast. A lot of the times we say, oh, I need to find a studio. I've coached people and they say this. Or for my book, I have to raise this amount of money. For my album, I have to get this really great mic. And all these things that we tell ourselves. Movies have been made off of cell phones in Hollywood. People's podcasts, I follow some influencers, they're literally recording it like this or interviewing people over Zoom. And here you are, here I am, overthinking and waiting for perfection. So remember, it's about progress over perfection, okay? And remember that it's about not competing with others. In business, we learn that. For those of you guys who might be in the business program, for those of you entrepreneurs, we always hear about competing and knowing your competition. But I implore you to collaborate with someone else. Find where you serve and collaborate with others, because only then you can make an impact. I literally have an accountability team of coaches. We literally do the same thing, and we are not in a competition. We are collaborators. We refer, we build each other, we share templates, we give ideas, use Canva, use this tool, use Trello, right? We have all these different ideas and we come together and it makes such a much bigger impact, okay? So same thing, if you are in here and you're just looking for a job, find someone else who's working on their resume and, look it over with each other. And again, you're speaking life. So guys, I don't cuss. Well, I do. I say H-E double hockey sticks. It's my word. And I say dang it, right? But I'm not an F word person. So I thought until I saw these 7 F words, 6 squares, but there's 7 F words. So I call it dropping the 7 F words. So you can look at the bottom. You will see the book. You can screenshot and I'm going to go straight into it. So these authors, Paul Batts and Tim Schmidt, they speak about bringing satisfaction to life through these words: faith, finances, family and friends, fun and future. But they show you how these words actually work together, how these elements bring harmony when they're congruent. How can you achieve success in all these areas? Guys, I researched this, love this. It became my daily prayer guide. It's what I use to create my vision boards now. I break it up in these 7 words. So literally every morning, how can I be more faithful? How can I help someone else find their faith? In the faith until you make it, right? Is my goal aligned to my future? Is this opportunity with McGill right now helping me align with my future? Right now, am I thinking about my family and friends and how I can pour into them today? And the worst thing, and I can assure you, many of you guys, it's that blue square on the bottom, fun. A lot of us has ejected that out of our vocabulary because we've just gotten so busy. So I'm going to ask you to really take a look at this grid, screenshot it, and think about what you can add into your life out of these different elements. All right? So keep dropping F-bombs in your life. This is the one area you can do it freely without any recourse or action. And before I get to this part, I want you guys to really take the time to think of the power of moving as a unit, the power of knowing your message. So visualize for a moment that you understand who you are. People always said, oh, Roen, you would have been a great comedian. You should have been in Hollywood. You missed your calling. Did I? People might project these what they envision for you, but you have to see more for yourself. We have emerged out of a pandemic, and you're probably thinking now, okay, this is shifting tides. What's my next move? What's my calling? Do I go back to school? Do I quit my job? Do I get therapy? Do I get coaching? Do I learn Forex or crypto? Some of you might be buying or selling your dream home. While you are in this transition, do not let anything hold you back from following that blueprint that you're about to create. We are all change makers, and we have a great responsibility in connecting with others. Whether that's an email, a memo, a phone conversation, remember every interaction matters. Remember the butterfly effect. Believe you have the power to make a difference and affect change in your own life, in the lives of others, and even the world at large. So I want to leave you with this. Remember, this is your time to elevate. There is power in your ideas. There is powers in your story, and you are the only one who can tell it. So don't let anyone tell you that there is no room at the table, because that chair is yours. So even if it's empty for now, claim your space, take that seat, and just start listening to others. Ground yourself. Be still and know that your story can impact a generation and many generations to come. That is how I believe I'm changing my last name every day, making stories better, not just for myself, but for my daughter. So you heard in the beginning, I mentioned about my mother having a mental illness. Zita briefly mentioned our connection. And it was, I think, Zita, feel free to unmute and correct me. I think it was like a McGill talent show or something like that.
No, it was a poetry collective that I started, or I wanted to start, in 1999.
Woo! Well,
And it was called Peace, and it stood for Positive Energy Always Creates Elevation.
Ooh, all
And
right.
I was what, like 19 or something, and I looked for a venue. And you guys remember McGill parties were always crazy good, so I reached out to
That's what it was, McGill.
yeah, that's how it happened. So
Yeah.
it's a full circle moment, because I live and breathe for what we're doing now, and I work at McGill.
Yes.
But I hosted the event at McGill's what was that? It was like a pool hall right up on McTavish.
Exactly. And Zita was on stage, and the best part was she's holding that mic and she's offering this opportunity for gifts. I don't know about y'all, but I love free stuff. Who loves free stuff? Show me your hands. I love free stuff. I see all the hands. Yes, Vincenzo's like, yeah. You know, and it's crazy because I jumped on stage and I expected this free item, and it was a Chaos CD, which I still have. Heaven only knows. Jumped on stage, about to get in. She's like, okay, so, you know, what can you do? I guess I should have known it was a creative space. And she asked me to sing. And people in the crowd knew I sang in the choir, and they were just sing, sing. And there was the pressure, guys. There was that platform calling me to do what I was very shy to do, which was sing. I was an educator. Like I said, I'm still an educator, but my cords are shot. I worked at camps and school. I literally had 3 jobs with kids. And I was like, I want this prize. So a lot of us, you know, in our community, we all think we can rap. Can't rap a gift, but we won't talk about that. And we're there, and I'm like, and I started to spit. And the first time I wasn't a joker. And all of a sudden, in my what I thought was kind of rapping, let's just say at the end of it, people were asking me to be, oh, you're a dub poet, you're a spoken word poet, you're a slam poet. I'm like, what? And poetry was not in my blueprint as a young person. Poetry was whack. Poetry was like, you know, violets are blue, you know, and Shakespeare. And, you know, I wasn't cultivated then. Yes.
It was the most precious thing to witness, because I was on the stage next to you watching your destiny unfold. It was the most precious thing to see, because I was watching your destiny unfold.
Well, Zita, and look what it's called on the screen. Divine Intervention is the name of this piece. It's a very raw piece for me because it speaks about mental health in my family. Not only my mom, I didn't mention this, but my sister. She's still hospitalized 20 years later. She ended up with schizophrenia as well after postpartum depression, just like my mom. And another person very close to me that I saw unravel for 2 years. And it's brought up a lot of feelings. So here we go. I pray for an intervention so divine. When I heard you were robbed of your conscious, your intelligent mind, uttering words that appear to have no comprehensive meaning, but to open ears, you just expressing your mixed feelings. Hearing voices when no one has even spoken, in your head provoking, choking, stopping you from breathing, no escaping. Can't close the doors for one quiet moment, because verbal attacks are coming back like a rejected token. I see you on bended knees, asking for atonement, thinking you've done wrong, sentenced to this cruel punishment, trapped in your own mind like you're detained in detention. Breaking out just became your main intention, redemption. I've come to the realization you're a beautiful person with the purpose. Your talents are so profuse, stumbling over your confusion, which the devil left behind after his rude intrusion. Heavenly Father, please provide a resolution. I pray this uninvited guest will leave when the sun sets, and when it rises over your horizon, you'll be blessed, and darkness ceases to exist, evil under arrest. Lift your head up, let him heal his child with a kiss. How many of us has taken the time out to listen to a soul who's been trapped between the walls of depression? How many of us reach out with compassion and realize shades of madness is camouflage intelligence? How many of us has been told to go for a psychological assessment because we do not conform to the norms of society? Well, baby love, I overstand your madness, and I heard you in the corner crying, singing. This is insanity, living with split personality, crazy, seeing everybody so shady. How come everyone is ignoring me? Is this a conspiracy? Free your mind, 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 free your mind. I pray this uninvited guest will leave when the sun sets. And when it rises over your horizon, you'll be blessed. Darkness ceases to exist, evil under arrest. Lift your head up, let him heal you with a kiss. Free your mind. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's just a reminder that you are here and you can make an impact by changing your lenses to your own situations. Let go of the doubts and limiting beliefs that you have. You can expand your thinking and reframe and shift your perspective. Tell your story. People connect to real life stories. So continue to be you. Do not hide. Be bold. Be shameless. Be authentic. And be the light. And last but not least, serve with love. Connect with your community. Heart-led leadership is the best way to lead because people want to feel someone is listening to them and has something to change their lives. So thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Sorry, I was just checking through the names. Now I can look who's there. I can just call my nurse. Thank you so much, Zita and team.
Thank you. It is a pleasure and an honor to call you a friend, to call you a sister girl, and to see your light shine. It is an honor to see your vulnerability speak volumes and allow us to feel the ability to unlock and feel free. Your words have touched so many folks in the chat. Somebody's saying tears. I'm ready to hire Roen to elevate. What an amazing presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, Roen, your beautiful spirit shines so bright. Thank you so much, Roen, for such powerful messages. Tears, bravo. You're a beautiful spirit, Roen. I'm going to have to listen to this recording 10 times to keep myself inspired. Powerful and a moving presentation. It is just there's too many to keep reading.
Yes.
I have to be honest.
I saved the chat just that you know, because of course it's the first time I'm using the Canva presentation, so I was like, okay, it's different. Thank you. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Zita. Everyone. I'm scanning backwards. No, honestly, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for definitely showing up. I know it's been a tough year, tough 2 years. Let's keep it 100. And just know that you can emerge through all of this with different stories, with different impact, and it shifts. My story before has definitely evolved, and there is no mistaking of what I've gone through was to, I'm gonna make sure it's not in vain. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. Your notes are so positive. I really want to just thank you all for your energy and for allowing this to be such a special offering. And it's also so rewarding to know as we're leading out that even through the connectivity of machines, we're still able to feel so connected. So thank you. A lot of folks are asking how they can hear it again. And so we are recording the session and it will be available after the sessions are all over, after Saturday, when we have a collection of all of the videos, we'll be able to start posting them and things like that. So please be patient with us. We have 65 sessions, so it'll take some time, but it will be available. I'm not 100% sure how Facebook Lives work, but it's currently on our Facebook CATS page. So it'll still be there. I believe you can go back and watch some of it. And in the chat, I will add all of the ways to stay connected to us via social. So you always be connected with CATS, which is something we would love to invite you to do. Also, if there are other sessions that you're interested in, we have another, full day ahead of really great speakers. I have to be extremely honest. I'm not too sure how anybody will compare to you, Rowan. And that's okay. I say in humility, you brought us a lot of amazing feelings and a lot of things to ruminate on and to digest and to really just open our spirit and heart to. So thank you again. Thank you all for being with us, and feel free. I'm going to add power skills to oh, Emily did it. Thank you so much. So you can see the full lineup there. And oh, wow. Someone just said that they just donated to CATS so we could bring Rowan back. Wow. We got to I love that. So thank you. I'm going to
I like your bars. Just donated to CATS so we could bring Rowan back. I love that.
Yes, thank you all so much. Rowan, thank you. And if it's okay, I'll keep some of the chat, or I'll copy the chat and share it with you.
Yes, please.
We're out
Thank
of
you,
time.
everyone. I see everyone, Vincenzo, Catherine, everyone, Gail, Kathy, Sharon, everybody.
Wonderful. Emily, I'll invite you to say a closing line if you like.
Thank you so much, Rowan. That was an incredible session. I am speechless. You have a beautiful voice. Your message is incredible. Keep on inspiring everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and we hope to have you back. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. You guys have a great day. I'm still reading the chat.
It'll take a while because this was a super popular session and everyone was very engaged. The chat is on fire. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope you stay connected to Power Skill sessions. There's so many sessions happening in the next couple of days. Remember to be yourself as you're networking, as Rowan spoke about, and how you can bring that as you're connecting with other professionals from all over the world, and as you're navigating your own, transitions smoothly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone. As everyone's leaving, I'm just going to take the opportunity to highlight Rowan's authenticity. Mm-hmm. There's been some messages to me directly asking, like, how in the world did I find you? And it just makes me really want to say that, a lot of like-minded people grouped together. And I don't even remember when we met. I just know I've always known you. So that's a beautiful feeling. And you have such wonderful and beautiful things to bring to the world. So once again, thank you. It's great to see so many awesome people in the chat still and on screen. But I unfortunately am going to close the session because we're done. And I wish you all a great rest of your day. And also, Rowan, words can't explain how impactful you are and how special you are, and thank you for sharing your gift with us today.
Thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Rowan. Thank you, everyone.
I can't wait to see everybody, face to face one day, whether it's a workshop, a webinar, you never know.
Yeah.
Thank us in a networking event from CATS. There you go.
Well, you're leading us to all these things. We actually have integrated networking into the sessions so that we can practice our networking that we're learning. And one of the things CATS does is we have these integrated networking sessions as part of our core mandate to try to get as many people to meet and mingle and mix. So I will always invite you, and you're always more than welcome. And I feel like this won't be the last time we see you, and I pray that's the case.
I'm excited.
And until then, your message just like you feel your energy through the screen. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, we're gonna go now. I feel like we're all
we don't want to let go.
We're all sticking around. Thank you again, and absolutely, we'll talk again.
Yeah, thank you. Take care, Rowan.
Thanks. Take care, ladies.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone else.
Bye.
Bye, bye everyone.